Right, g'day team. We're here. We're back. Just going to reframe, just shuffle my thing, make sure I'm the beauty of this beast. It's going to be there so we can see the whole stroke. I think that'll be fine right there. Champion. There we go. That'll do. There it is. Right, hello team. We're here. We're back. A little bit longer today than normal. Where are we? Oh yeah, we're on the screen. Oh Brett, you've got a new account. Oh, I like the last one, Mr. Popcott. It was a great one. I thought today we're just going to put some miles on the clock. Miles on the clock, working on different technique, not really getting too high in the rate. Okay, very what I would say is the training zones. So it's all about fitness, but it's going to allow us to work on our technique. Okay, simple as that. We're doing the majority, and when I say the majority of the work, pretty much except about 8 minutes of the work at 20 to 22. Okay, so it'll really give us the chance to feel all the bits of the stroke that we need to try and perfect at that low rating side. Time in the legs, get the sweat going, okay, but really focus on the hang of the stroke. Biggest thing that we need to work on is the hang on the stroke while we open everything out. Okay, the better we get at that, faster we can go. Okay, it's pretty simple. We'll work on the sequencing. We've got to make sure that we are getting the legs connected and the legs are driving the body back. But at the same time, it's all about the hang. It's all about this part here, how long we can hold right through here. Okay, none of this, as long a hold as we can by just leaving the arms out long and just letting all of these big muscle groups in the body do that work first. Okay, now yes, it is hard sometimes because we might not feel like we're picking the front up, so we feel like we've got to grab it or we've got to hit the front to feel like we're picking up that speed. Okay, but if we get into a metronomic continuous motion and just feel the flow, we should really be able to start identifying parts of the stroke that we're doing really well, okay, and then other parts that we need to work on. And remember, the journey just takes forever. We continue on with it, but the better we get at it, I'm not going to say easy. Well, yes, the easier is probably a good word. I was going to say more manageable. The more manageable things become. Okay, it's as easy as that. So because it's low rate, good time, we're breaking it up. So we've got the 5 8-minute pieces. We're going to have 30 seconds in between. So not a huge amount of time, but literally just enough time to refocus, switch off, have a drink, wipe some sweat off, get back into it, okay? And then just we'll tick down those markers as we go back through. And as I say, and we'll change rates along the way. So as you can see, the first one's 8 minutes in one go. Second one's 4 and 4. Third one's 4, 2 and 2. So this is where we start to get up into that 24. So once we hit that 22, it's just that extra speed of all the parts of the stroke. That's all it is, okay? It's not like we go faster legs, just faster legs. You know, every part of the stroke just adds that 2 strokes a minute in total, okay? So every part, I don't know, it's like 5% quicker in all bits, whatever, okay? And then we go to 2, 4, 2. So it just means that we spend a little bit longer at the 22 on the fourth one, and then the last one's just 2-minute changes. And on that one, we'll just go up to 26, okay? Pretty simple. Just allows us to just tap it along. And by that stage, you know, we'll be pretty warm. We shouldn't be fatigued. Yes, we'll be working hard and we would have had a good workout, but it'll just allow us to feel that little bit of extra speed, tap it along for the last 2 minutes, okay, and finish off with a bang. Easy, okay? Not much else to say apart from that. We will just keep it simple, and we're just going to work. I'm going to do a lot of talking, and we're just going to break down all the parts of the stroke, so you guys can be focused on what you're doing. Okay. Biggest thing today is that after we've done our warm up and we get into the piece, when you're training at that sort of 20 pace, 22 pace for however long, whatever period you're doing, should have a good idea about what you can achieve in terms of your splits. Okay. So while we're riding along today, we want to get onto a good pace, where you feel comfortable that you're working well, hard, well, whatever you want to use, terminology. And then when we create changes and when we talk about different parts of our technique, I want you to really focus on what that does and how that affects your speed. So if we talk about picking that front up and we're getting a better connection and changing direction around the catch, do your splits increase or decrease? Okay. If they increase dramatically, maybe we're not quite getting the concept of it. Or the other side of the coin is that maybe we've been grabbing too much, or we've just been lifting off the front, whatever. Okay, and so starting to do it a little bit differently is affecting our speed. So we've just got to keep an eye on what we're doing, and that's one of the biggest things is when you make small changes or when you focus on different parts of your stroke, see what it does to your screen. Now, don't just do it after one or two strokes. Okay, we've got to give it a little bit of time. Might be half a minute, could be a little bit longer. Okay, and that's what we need to take into account. That when we're making changes, sometimes the speed might not change for the faster straight away. Okay, it might take a little bit for us to focus on what we're doing, see where we get to. Okay, and it might not change. Speed might not even change. Okay, but we might feel like we're doing it easier. Okay, so it's just little bits and pieces like that. So while you guys are doing it, okay, you focus on your speed, focus on my voice, just listening to bits and pieces that I'm going to talk about. Okay, and really see how that affects change. Really see how that affects the change. Okay, it's as simple as that. Cool. I think that's us, ready to go. Another comment, Chris, you'll be doing this tomorrow. Great, awesome. Thanks, Chris. So let's get set. As always, 3 or 4 minutes of warm up. We just want to get the body sorted, ready to go. I was out in the garden yesterday digging some holes. So the old back's a bit tight today, so I'll be fine. We'll just get that warmed up, and then we'll be into it, okay? First and foremost, as always, black gold, got to get it down. And then we'll be ready to rock and roll, okay? So, here it is. Get comfy. Okie dokie. So, always my go-to. Get in everything. Moving. Loose. Increasing my length. Remember to just start off with this warm-up. Nice and relaxed. Then we're not even really focused on the screen in terms of speed. We're trying to focus on the relaxation as we initiate, as we hang. Okay, that's the best part about the warm-up, is that we can try and get ourselves into the positions we're working on, or the focal points that you've identified, and we don't have to worry too much about the pressure, the speed, or the rating in the warm-up. We just give it a little bit of time, feel the patience, slowly build into it. This is good. Okay, feeling the sequence, really feeling what your feet are doing. Nice and relaxed. Okay, so we're continuing to move. Moving our hands. Feel how loose we are with the legs and the knees. So when we're at the finish, got a bit of space for the knees to pop up. We're not locking them out. Okay, and we just feel what happens now when we just let the hands go across the top of the knees as we flow forward. Okay, we want to attempt to start bringing the body forward like so, but we don't want to be there and then stay in that position all the way. Okay, we want to come across, be 90% in that position, and as we come into the front, just a tiny little bit of elasticity to set that final part. If we're set here really straight and that, we can just be a little bit tense. Okay, so I am trying to get you to be set by about 3/4 of the way forward. We don't need to be set at 1/4 of the way off the back. Okay, we want to be 90% set, but not already set so that we're stiff as we come into the front. Okay, we need relaxation to feel the compression, to feel ourselves coming in, ready for the catch. Okay, so yes, it is important to set up and feel the roll, but we don't want to be like this, okay? And we also don't want to be like this and then having to reach into the catch, okay? Bits and pieces like that. So trying to find a nice position where we feel set. If we had to take a shorter stroke, we could be there already. Okay. And we just slowly, over the next sort of 5 or 6 strokes, just push it down a little bit further. Good. Nice work. Really good. Okay, a couple more. Right, Bob's your uncle. There we go. Okay, so should be ready to go. Okay, always manage yourself. Find out what works for you in terms of your warm-ups for all the different pieces that you do. Okay, remembering that not every warm-up is going to be the same. We should just be nice and easy to get some blood flowing, get the muscles working for training pace stuff. If we're doing a few intervals with a bit of rate, we might want to do a little bit more of an intensity build while we're doing it. And then obviously with some of the stuff that we've already got online, if we're doing short pieces, harder stuff, we've got to be ready to hit whatever the first set is well, okay, from that word go. So now I'm good. My target splits are pretty much there. Let's rock and roll, okay? So let's jump in as normal because we're all working out together, which is bloody great. Select workout, new workout intervals. We're going to intervals time. Increase that to 8 minutes. And then set that rest time to just 30 seconds. Okay, so, and then just leave the 30 seconds flashing while we everyone gets set up. Okay. Right, Kevin, been 90% set going into the catch, just help me improve my catch and rhythm. Okay, sweet. Well, look, we're going to talk about a lot of stuff as we go. So hopefully we'll talk about heaps and we're going to make everyone masters by the end of this. Hey. Okay, so 30 seconds flashing, everyone ready to go. I'm going to press my checkbox now. Okay, so we're good to go. Last bit, last drink, whatever. Get yourself lock and loaded. We just don't want the screen to reset. It's got a couple of minutes, otherwise it'll reset on us. Right, indoor row. Okay, so here we go. This is just 8 minutes at 20. We're going to get into the zone. We're just going to talk and we're going to nail it. Okay, so let's get ready to rock and roll. Grab the handles. Right, here we go. Are you ready? Attention. Row. Okay, so just slowly build up the speed. Just with the length. Nice patience. Okay, and what I mean by patience is that we shouldn't be in a hurry at any part of the stroke to do something. Okay, everything should just flow into one another, especially at this 20 rate. Okay, we should just flow forward on the slide, one smooth speed. We roll into the front. Okay, so if we just take note of our stroke right now, does it feel smooth and continuous in terms of the overall shape of it? Or are we stopping, having to be quick off the back? So this metronomic, continuous motion should be there at all the different ratings. Okay, but we're starting it off here at this 20 rate. Slowly pushing down our speed onto our training pace. Okay, taking note of what we're doing, being consistent. So when we enact change, we can see what we're doing on the screen in front of us. Before we do that, let's really focus on this chain being nice and flat. Okay? Not too much deviation off the straight line. We might have a little bit of a movement around the back, that's fine. But we don't want the hands to drop into the front. We don't want too much of this happening, getting over the knees. Okay, if we find ourselves doing that, it means we're not quite getting out enough off the back in the setup phase. The chain's nice and flat. Remember, just even around the back, once we let the hands change direction back to the front, feel the resistance of the bungee pulling us that way. Feel it in the fingers. Feel it in the hands. Okay? The more we use that resistance to draw us forward, the less we're doing and having to pull ourselves up to the front, okay? So with this nice flatness that we've got now, the feeling in the fingers, let's finish the handle around the body. Let the hands go out across the top of the knees. Get that nice, supple sit-up position. A little bit of flexibility, not completely set. Okay, we're in a pretty good place, at sort of 90%, so we can be steady, we can be set without being tense and stiff. Okay, good. So there's the start of being relaxed when we're not making the stroke. The more we're relaxed here, having a picnic, being focused on the next stroke, the better off we'll be in terms of energy expenditure. We're almost trying not to do anything on that recovery. Obviously we are, but the work and rest ratio that we're trying to achieve, okay, can be found a little bit easier. So now that we've got this roll into the front, smoothness, let's feel the compression on the feet right there at the catch. Okay, and then we press against the feet for the drive. First initial movement, we should feel the feet, the hands, all connected right through here. Hands, feet, and seat moving in unison together. Okay, so just focus that for a second. If you feel like your seat's moving too quick, not quite getting connected at the front. We feel the handles coming back a little bit quicker than the seat. Possibly means we're doing that. Okay. So it's really nice to just try and focus this, and those. Trying to work together. Okay, remembering we can just leave the arms out long and we push away. The handle stays there in a nice connected, long hang. Remember, under here, we want to feel it. Under the armpits, down in the lats. Those are where the big muscles are to hang. Okay, if we're feeling a little bit too tense up in the shoulders, like that's where we're getting the grab from, just continue to work on it. Really try and feel the bigger muscle groups being able to hang longer, like we were lifting weights. Okay, hanging off the chin-up bar. Those long, extended muscles are where we're going to make the money. Good. Really good. Last couple. Okay, good. So, not a lot of break. Just roll it off. Okay. So, this is just the mental stimulation break. Okay, how did that go? Think about it. Where do you want to start off from where we just finished? Okay, and where do you want to go to from there? So here we go. Now, so back onto 20. Shouldn't take too long. We should just be able to find that rhythm. Back again. Okay, remember when we're making the stroke, there's a sequence, like a firing sequence, where It's a whole lot of different things happening, all in sequence, but together, okay, one after the other. And this is where we push. And as we're pushing, the body starts coming in. And the very last part is the draw with the arms flat around the body. Okay, this is good. And we keep that focus we've got on this relaxed recovery. Okay, letting that handle go because it wants to go that way anyway. This is the relaxation after we've done the work. So we talk about a work and rest ratio, which is drive, recover, work, rest. When we're not making pressure, we're not making speed, we're relaxed. Okay, it is a machine, so we're not going to get any run out of it. It's not like we're on the water where the recovery means a lot about the forces that you enact on a boat. So the flywheel's always going to be decelerating on that recovery. So all we're trying to do is work on how we pick up that speed, how we continue it. How many revolutions can we save with our pickup? So while we think about that, let's focus on this change in direction around the catch. Okay, remember, we're not trying to feel the outright load there at the catch. Okay, there's a build. The peak force is about halfway back on the slide. Halfway on the legs, halfway on the body. That's our peak force. So we're trying to pick up the speed of the front and of the flywheel as smooth as we can, and then use that pickup with our form to create the speed. Okay? So as we come around the front, feel the loading back onto the feet. We're going to feel it in the feet. Well, yes, we are going to get a bit of pull. Then the feet are going to like flop on the shoes. And then we're going to feel that compression right on the toes. Let the ankles naturally fold up on us as the seat comes underneath. Okay, smooth around. So we're about to change up. Here we go, up to 22. Now, remember, do it with the movement of the whole stroke. So all the parts of the stroke get quicker. Not just the drive, the handle speed, the recovery. Okay. And there we are. Okay, and now that we're moving a little bit quicker into the catch, let's feel this compression again. Feel that change in direction around the catch. Okay, there's that momentary point of the slide where the seat's going to stop. We're going to feel the compression. Okay, the body's pretty much stopping. So we're just going to be smooth with how we gather that speed again. We get the gearing of the flywheel. Okay, nice and smooth. Don't grab it. Just leave the arms out long. Connect through the core. Hang under the armpits. And just remember, we're trying to sit back through the stroke. So we initiate, the legs drive the body. Nice long arms. Okay, so we're holding this really well. Our ratio, just take a second to feel how metronomic and continuous this motion is. Okay, this is good. Patience. Okay, not being tense at any part of the stroke. Low with the hands around the back, out over the knees. Okay, back into some relaxed hands on that recovery. This is good. Feeling like we're pushing away from the handle. It's just coming back with the sequence. Smooth change in direction. Flywheel speed. Good push. Remember those hands, feet, and seat again. Feel that relationship. Even if you shut your eyes for a couple of strokes, trying to see if one part's moving quicker than the other. Nice. Okay. Really good. Good roll on. Good recovery. Good patience. Okay, really good. So, drink and row. Drink and wipe sweat. Whatever you need. We don't have much time. So, same philosophies again. We're just going to really hone them in. Really keep working on them. 4 at 20, 2 at 22, 2 at 24. Here we go. Now, okay, a little bit heavier to start. Make sure we feel it under the lats, armpits. Okay, smooth acceleration. Good, nice and flat with that handle. Again, just have a check. Good. Take our recovery while we've got it. So we work the drive, be loose, relaxed, ready for the setup. Coming forward, nice and steady with the bodies. Good. Good. Okay, hang long. Nice long arms. Remember that they're just our connector. They hold our body position in that strong, compressed place, which then allows us to open it out to get to the finish. Work on our sequencing. We want it to be one smooth movement right to the finish. So to get that, we've got to make sure that we've got the core stability here. So as we roll around the front, we feel that body being held, the seat, the feet, the hands, they initiate. And then as we're moving back, the body hinges from the hips, but it's being driven by the legs. Okay, so we don't get like to a point where we're trying to make the swing happen. Everything opens out together. And if we're holding those arms nice and long, we've got that movement, we've got that relaxation, we've got that hang, we should be able to feel that the big muscles of the legs combine with the big muscles in the body through the back, through the glutes, through the lats, and we make one smooth go at drive. Okay, nice. Keep that relaxation coming forward. Always focus. Loosen the hands. Getting set in that position. And there, roll into the front. Trying to be as smooth as we can there. Around the catch. Okay, so we're going up to 22. Now, remember all parts of the stroke. It's moving quicker. We're not looking for a huge number change. We will get a change. Make it smooth. Make it continuous. Make it consistent. Okay, nice. Nice and flat with that push. And when we're on the drive, we focus the handle being nice and straight on that plane. Not going up, coming down. Trying to keep it nice and flat right through. Nice, strong position. Okay, this is good. We've been continuous. We're moving the hands. Feeling that change in direction around the front. So as we compress here, one push away. Nice. Find that speed on the legs and the speed with the body. It's really good. Okay, so we're going to raise it to 24. Remember the focus, just moving everything quicker. Here we go. Now. So our change in speed is going to come from the overall stroke. Yes, we are moving everything. The leg speed is quicker, but so is the momentum around the back. Slide coming forward. So now with this speed, use it to our advantage. Move around the back. Feel that slight deceleration just before the catch with the seat coming forward. Ready to feel that compression. Press. And then hang away. Good. Clicking that flywheel's gear. Remembering that the gear, we can't slam it on the front. There is a take up, but we sweep it through the middle. Picking speed. Nice long arms. Remember the long arms. Keep them long. Hanging under the armpits. One smooth drive. Couple more. Good. Okay, really good. So you'll see as we increased up to that 24, just got to keep everything moving, okay? Some more time coming forward, and we do feel that last part there, the deceleration, okay, and the smooth change in direction. How we end up here, it's how we come out of the front, okay? We don't go in and then lift out, okay? Back on it, here we go, 2 minutes of 20. So one of the keys when I talk about this compression into the front is making sure that how we ended up here is how we come out the other side. Okay? If we drop, we probably tend to lift out. Okay? See the opposite reaction? Equal and opposite. If we come in nice and steady, probably going to come out nice and steady. If we throw our hands at the catch, we're more likely to probably grab. If we're smooth, we feel patience in this last part. It's going to allow us to be patient with that first part of the connection on the way out. Okay? But for now, let's feel that. Feel those feet again. Long arms. Hang off them. Remember how good those lats are at hanging weight. Shoulders in the traps. Nah, got nothing. Okay, nice. Easy. Relaxed movement. Working the drive. Gain our speed. Relax your recovery. This is good. Okay, nice rhythm. So, next 4 minutes, 22 now. Keep that freedom. Find that rhythm. With patience. Continuous motion. Okay, good. Nice and flat with the chain. Smooth around the finish. Remember, we're brushing the body. We're not hitting the body. We let that hang out the front. Power through the middle. And then there's no power at the finish to be able to yank the handles in. Yes, we've got weight on them. We've got pressure against the hands. We're not trying to do that. Yanking at the finish. The only time you're going to do that, last 500 metres of the 2K. You throw anything you got left at the beast. Okay, but back onto this pendulum. Metronomic. Continuous motion. nice and smooth. Feel the application of pressure being smooth and against the resistance of the handle, against the resistance of the machine. With our bodies, we're holding our bodies in a nice position. We feel the flywheel speed. Okay, and we slowly feel what we can manage to hold. Okay, nice and consistent splits. And then we work on all the parts of the stroke. Okay, so take a moment. Feel ourselves rolling into the catch. How's our setup? Are the hands leading around the back? Drawing the body forward with the bungee. This is good. This is nice. Okay, and because we've got that roll forward, we feel that compression into that position where we can't go any further. Okay, and we use that to feel the last part of the stroke on the recovery, and we change smoothly from the recovery to the drive. No extra reach or lurch. Picking up the speed of the flywheel. Okay, ready to change again. Now, so remember, just movement speed. Everything gets quicker. Nice rhythm. Nice relaxation. This is good. Nice patience. Nice. Okay, good work. Okay, and this should just be smooth. It's a little bit quicker. There's a little bit more happening. Stay focused on all the parts. Feel the feet and the hands and the seat again around the front. Feel the relationship. And always remember it, move the handles. If we stop at the finish, we'll probably stop the rating from holding where we want it to be. Rush the body in around. Pivot in the hip. Start that setup. Ready to get back to the front. We don't have to be set right or hard off the back, but we need to be setting off the back. Good, okay. So, nice work so far. Okay, we're getting those good changes up. We're holding the speed. This one, because we're going to go up all the way, we're just going to stay focused at 20, get onto it quickly, and then just increase all the way through, see a good linear change in speed. Now, so if we find our rhythm here at 20, We're going to take that all the way through this last set. Okay, last piece of the day. So be patient and smooth. This is good. Nice rhythm. Okay, feel that control with the hands. Okay, once the hands are going back out, we have a soft knee break. And then the body's connected with the seat at the same time, even on the recovery. Because if we're doing things like that, whereas the hands are already out, the seat should move with the handle as we come forward. No different than on the drive. The handle and that seat have a really good relationship together. They're moving pretty closely together in terms of their speed. Okay, obviously when we add that body here, they're going to come towards us. But in this first part, neither one should move so much more than the other until we start using that body. So on that recovery, same. Here we go, up to 22 now. Okay, good. Nice and smooth. Patience around the finish. This is good. Remember, soft knees around the finish. Once we finish the stroke, the handle, trying to pull it back into the housing, and we move with it. Good. Let's find that rhythm around the turn, around the front. Roll in, press, and then push it away. With the hang, we're pushing the body back with the legs, and the body is coming with it. One smooth push. Okay, we don't want to feel like we're having a second go through the drive. One smooth open out. And we'll always leave those arms out long. Hanging arms good. Tension in the arms bad. Okay, up 2 now. Good. Find this new rhythm. Okay, we've had a linear change in our speed. Good even increase. Okay, and we're now there. So let's settle into the groove. Moving the hands. Nice and patient. Breathing into it. This is good. Focus on the feet. Feel them in the shoes. Feel your toes against the strap around the back. Feel the transfer onto the feet. Balls of the feet. With the seat. With the handle. with the body set up coming forward. Good. Good patience. Nice work. Okay. Smooth and continuous, metronomic, continuous motion. Okay, smooth speed, consistency, working the drive, relaxing the recovery. Okay, up 2. Now just think, as we increase the speed here, don't think about power. Think about picking the flywheel speed up a little bit quicker. Now it's up. We try not to let the fan slow down. That's all. All our movement speeds at a 26 rating speed. All the parts of the stroke. Good. Smooth around the front. Roll in. Feel that compress. Okay, last 30. Hold. Focus the hang. This is good. This is great. Long arms. Move the hands. Feel the body open out. Legs. Then swing. Hinge at the hips. Great. Last few. Done. Okay. So, it's getting sweaty. We'll just roll off the end of this. Okay. When it gets close, shortly, just reset your monitor. Okay. Press the menu a couple of times. Okay. It'll save everything into the memory. You can go back and see how the workout went. We should have had a good change between each piece. Culminating in that last one going through the rates. Okay, but for now, remember, don't just stop. We're just moving the body, getting the oxygen back into the muscles. Okay, active recovery. So one of the biggest points which I was getting to at the finish, and I said it a few times, is that one of the biggest, I guess, things to grasp for most people is that the reason that we train, the reason that we do intervals, the reason that we go up in rates is because if you're going to do a piece, whatever that might be, 500,000, 5K, 10K, who cares, whatever. Okay, there's an optimal rating for each one. And the idea is to find that and be as smooth as we can with it. So what we're trying not to get into is a position that on that, say that 26 at the finish, that we're really trying to think, I've got to work to 26 and then I've got this thing and then I've got to really work it and do it again. Okay, we're trying to get the whole body, the whole speed to be moving at this 26 pressure and rate. Okay, so if we think too much about this part, okay, we're tense, we're not getting set up, and then we get into here and we're like, I've got to get off the front. Okay, but when the flywheel is moving, and it only takes a few strokes for us to get it up to that speed, okay, I'm sure you would have seen it on your monitor. As soon as we start going up in rating and we start moving the hands quicker, we come forward quicker, we drive quicker, boom. Okay, the rating comes up, speed comes down. Now, effectively, all we're trying to do is protect that speed that we've just generated. Okay? And we want to protect it for as long as we can. And we've got to focus at the same time, yes. Okay? But the idea is creating speed, protecting the speed. And that's why we talk about smoothness, efficiency, let the chain happen. Because we know we're going to be working this part. Okay, we know that, it's a dead given. But if we're doing that and then we've got all this relaxation, it means that the next stroke is easier. Okay, it's easier because we've come in, we've got the speed coming in. Okay, so the speed that's created in is the speed that we change to come out. And that's one of the misconceptions. But one of the easiest things the more we work on that fact that when we increase the ratings, okay, all we're really trying to do is create the whole movement of the stroke to be quicker. Okay, and if we get that whole movement of the stroke to be quicker, yes, we get more speed. We can maintain that for as long as we're holding our form. Okay, now if we start to falter or we're just running out of energy, you know, if we are doing like trying to beat our PB in our 10K or something like that, yeah, we're going to run out of juice. Okay, and that's when it starts to get really ugly. So the idea of all this interval training is just getting ourselves into a position where we can manage it for good periods of time, like today, okay, and then we can continue working on it. We could do it for longer periods of time. So it becomes more manageable. Okay, yes, yeah, easier could be a good word, but what I mean is it's more manageable because like we're always going to be working. Look at us, we're always going to be working up a sweat. We're always going to be puffing, heart's going to be pumping. So it's about being able to manage the output that we're giving to make sure that our output is the best that we can to get us the best numbers, okay? So continuing, trying to get that flywheel speed moving around the front, okay? Doesn't need to go, the thing with the flywheel is on the drive is that the flywheel speed is moving its fastest about here, okay? That's when it's moving its fastest. We don't have to make it move its fastest there, but we can pick the speed up and then we use all of the movement through here to create it, to get it to its max speed, okay? And that's what gives us the good numbers. Not that really strong part out the front. We want to be connected, okay? We want to be coming around the front and have minimal slip out here, so we don't want to get there and go, you know, and feel like there's a bit of a take. We want to be as smooth as we can there, and then through that middle part is where all of the money's made, because that's where we're connecting this to this, right through, so that it just comes right through with our stroke, using all our body weight, okay? No matter how big or small, strong, tall, short, whatever you are, that point in the drive for everybody is where you reach the maximum RPM of that, okay? And that's what we're trying to achieve. And so if we do that efficiently, and we use our legs and then our bodies in the right sequence in the right way, boom, we get good number. And then if we continue doing that, we hold the number, okay? So it's just a matter of putting all of this stuff together. and there's a lot, okay? There's a lot. And I've said on previous videos, we can't be talking about it all the time. We can't be thinking, I'm coming into the front, what am I doing here? What am I doing here? You've got to focus on little bits of the stroke. Okay, that's pretty good. Now I'll think about something else, and then I'll think about something else and try and tie them back together as much as you can. But if you're thinking about every single part of the stroke in sequence, you're mind blown, okay? Way too much to think about. So really good, okay? I think we got some really good bits and pieces today. I'm going to see what we're getting here. Thanks, Edward. Great focus on technique. Thanks, Robro. Yeah, so the biggest thing about the machine that is why there's so much conversational things around drag factor and other bits and pieces is for the simple fact that the flywheel is basically the key to everything, okay? Picking up the flywheel. And there's so many different ways to skin a cat, right? Good analogy. But if we have it on a high drag, means all the air disappears, which means we do have to be physically capable to be able to pick up that speed, okay, better than somebody else that doesn't have that capability, okay? And that's why trying to find the right drag place for you is something that needs to be attained, okay? And it's also down to how long you want to use the erg for. What are you using it for? High intensity work or training, fitness, cardio, whatever, okay? There's all of these different factors come into that equation. Because the higher the drag, the more powerful, yes, you do have to be, the stronger muscles, because the flywheel is gonna slow quite a lot. And when you do create that speed, it just means that this first part here until the body and the legs are coming in is a lot heavier, hence why you need that more strength. Have the drag in a central place, 5, 4, somewhere like that, whatever. The wind's still going inside the flywheel, which means that it's a nice, smoother pickup, which means there's already a little bit of speed on the flywheel. So the RPMs haven't dropped, which means that by the time you create it, you haven't had to use a lot of power out this front part, okay? And so it's just finding those little bits that are going to work for you. Just have a check of a couple of questions. Went over 1 million season miles. Nice. Great. Awesome, Brett. It's awesome. Suzanne, fantastic session. Thanks. Yeah. And as I say, the best thing about being on the machine a lot is when you're at home, when you're doing it by yourself, if you're not on the asensei, obviously, or else you're not on here, if you're just going to jump on, is really just figuring out what you need to improve on, okay, and how does that work, okay? And it might be the fact that you might say, you know what, I don't have a lot of time today, I've only got 20 minutes, and I'll be like, that's cool, okay? But do 20 minutes where you just change the rates every 2 minutes, okay, up and down like a pyramid, or and to just go 20, 22, 20, 22, 20, 22, all the way down to 0, because what that does is it allows you to focus, something to think about, okay, because your technique is going to affect your speed. And so having to slow down in rates like we've done on a couple of the sessions previously, having to have that patience now coming forward, okay, so now you've got to slow all of the parts of the stroke back down. That's where you start to figure out how you're doing it efficiently. Are you too tense? Are you too tight? Okay, and then rolling through. And then when you change it back up again, it's that same thing that we talked about today. Every part of the stroke, the hands coming forward, the drive, the pickup, is all now 5% quicker. It's not just the legs, okay? It's not just the swing. It's every part of the stroke is 5% quicker, okay? And that's how we manage to get that flywheel up and spinning. Now the rotations per minute are going faster, and now we continue to hold that rotations per minute as high as we can without it dropping too far, okay? It's very, very simple. But it may sound simple, but it is difficult to do, and it's difficult to hold continuously for that longer period of time. And hence why we're here, why I talk stuff as we go along, just so that it can make you understand and get better and get those focal points, which you might be slightly missing out on, or you might not be thinking about as much as you possibly could. Okay, a couple more questions, I think. So power curve addressed this topic too. I feel like the curve is smooth. Power and right part of the pull. Got to get the peak a bit higher though. No, so the thing with the force curve, Troy, is if you use it, and so anyone that wants to have a go, when you press your setting, when you press like row or whatever, second button down on the right hand side creates a force curve. Now we want the force curve to be smooth. Okay, if it's a little bit front ended, a little bit back ended, it's not a biggie. Okay. But if it's like jagged and it changes like from this nice smooth part, what that means is that at some point we're doing something slightly out of a sequence. Okay, so if it gets towards the end and then there's a little bit of a funny piece, it means that we're not quite having say the arms come in with the body. Okay, we might have like nearly finished the body, and then we might feel like we're giving them a bit of a yank, and that's why the curve will be a bit funky. So the idea is to, if you use it, and you don't have to use it religiously, but as you're rowing along, you know, maybe for a piece on one of your things, throw it in there, have a watch, and just see what your form is doing to that curve. Okay, if you're not picking up the front, you might see it a little bit jagged at the bottom. Okay, if you are picking it up well, the numbers actually start a little bit up the side. Okay, there's just bits and pieces like that. So it's a really great tool to just check your rhythm. But first and foremost, smooth curve. Don't worry too much about the shape. The smoother it is, it means that there's no like parts of the drive where it's jaggering in terms of like better or more or whatever power stuff. It's just one smooth spin of the flywheel. Okay, there's no parts through it where if we push the legs and then we add the body, you'll see like a bit of a blip. Okay, and we're just trying to avoid those as much as we can. Okay, it's not always going to look perfect. It's not always going to look smooth, but the better the smoothness means that there's a sequence happening. And all of this conversation comes down to the fact that if we are using energy in the wrong way, it means somewhere down the track, we won't have energy to use it where we need. Okay, so if you're going to go and do a 2K piece, if you've got this jagged thing, it means that when you get to the last 600 meters, you might already be cooked. Okay, but if we had a nice smooth curve all the way through, we might only get to 300 meters before we're cooked. Okay, which means at the end of the day, you might have gone a second quicker. So that's really all it's about, is just having that nice smooth ability to create that power. Okay, and that's the great thing about the force curve. Sammy, amazing how returning to 20 strokes felt like recovery for the first minute. Yeah. The last set felt challenging, but I felt awesome to have the freedom at 26 at the end. Yeah. That's the thing, you know, I always like to just go a little bit more at the finish, because what it does is it's a big long story, but we used to do it on the water because you'd be slugging away 20 strokes a minute up and down the lake, and you're just doing your head in, and the coach would be like, okay, just let it free up for the last 500 meters. Okay, so if you're tense and you're tired and you're like, oh man, this is annoying, right? Normally what happens is it's a terrible piece. Whereas if you relax into it and you just feel the speed and you feel everything you've been working on and just trying to be as smooth as you possibly can, okay, then you should see some pretty good numbers. You should be a little bit relaxed. Okay, you might be like, okay, this is getting there, okay? But at the same time, if you take everything you've been working on and put it into that last piece, it shouldn't feel overly difficult. You should see some good numbers on the screen, and you should be like, yeah, I'm just going to tap it along. I'm going to get that flywheel moving, and then I'm just going to hold it, maintain it, maintain it, maintain it, maintain it. Okay, and that's the good thing about trying to, like, you know, just even in things like that, because we're not going to get outside our heart rate zone. All it's really doing is giving us a really nice finish to the piece, where we've been spending a lot of time at controlling our stroke, feeling that stuff. Okay, and now we're finally getting to a point where we can just let it go, let it be free. So let it be free. Get an idea of the more that we do this, the easier that freedom is. You know, and if we were to do a minute at 32 at the finish and not think about the actual power of it, but just think about the speed, then maybe we'll be like, shit, this is great. This is really good. Okay, and that's why, you know, towards the end of the pieces, it is nice to just free it up a little bit, okay, every now and again, and get to that point. Sweet, tap it along. That's it. Tap it along. Keep the flywheel going. Awesome work, team. Thanks a lot. Later time next week. Yeah, I think that's us. Really good session. I just wanted to put another sort of low rate, just good session out there, good training piece. Breaks are low, so it means that it's quite a bit more continuous. It's only really there for the mental side. It's not there really for the physical side. But it just gives us that ability to count the numbers down, focus what we're doing, take a breather. Right, what am I going to do here? Get back onto it. try and maintain what we're doing. Hopefully we didn't have any of the intervals where we took quite a long time to get back in. We couldn't find that rhythm again. And that's what a lot of the interval stuff is about, is how quickly can we get back to where we finished off. Okay, and if we can do that quickly, within sort of 30 seconds, we're on the money, okay, and we're making good bank. And that's the idea, just keeping things working, putting it in our memory banks as much as we can, so that we're going to go faster in the long term. Okay, awesome work, team. Thanks a lot. Remember, social distance, wear a mask, go get vaccinated. Want to try and get back to a new sense of normality, how it works, but keep up the training, mix it up, do what you need, always focus. Remember, the best way to be using the machine is to be as smooth as we can, let the machine do the work, and let our bodies do the work. Okay, legs and body. Don't get tense. We can't make it go right from the catch. It's all about the sweeping style and a continuous motion that will make the machine go well. Okay, it's as simple as that. Flywheel's going to keep spinning. We want to be able to pick that up and then just continue it going, so that if we can just sit there, find this pendulum metronomic rhythm. If you ever want to set a half marathon or a marathon, if you're using all the stuff that we're talking about here, it means that you could set in a rate at 24, somewhere like that, and just sit back and forward. Be nice and smooth, keep the flywheel spinning. Okay, it's basically like that. And then same applies, we just do that, but a little bit more hurried if we're going to do like 1,000 meter or something like that. But the same philosophies apply, trying to be as efficient as we can on the drive, trying to be as relaxed as we can on the recovery, and continue that going in a consistent fashion all the way along. Okay, sweet. Thanks, team. We will see you guys next week. Stay safe. Don't do anything silly, like I never do. But yeah, have fun. Be safe. And until next week, peace out.